What's up everybody, it's Sean here and I'm back today to give you a review of the New Balance 991 V2 from the Brights Revival Pack in this dazzling blue colorway. So the New Balance 991 V2 is definitely one of the brand's hottest silhouettes on the market right now. And though all the initial colorways that have released have been a bit more on the dull or muted side, now that we're entering warmer weather, New Balance is finally releasing fun and bold colorways such as this one, which released alongside a yellow colorway which technically looks more orange, both of which New Balance is calling part of the Brights Revival Pack. So these have already released at certain shops over in Europe, so as of right now I don't know if they're going to be actually releasing here in North America. So the price that I paid was 250 euros, but I'm assuming if they eventually do make their way to North America, hopefully they're going to retail for the standard price of $250 US or 325 Canadian dollars. So this made in England New Balance sneaker is nicknamed the Dazzling Blue colorway, and the official colorway for this shoe is Dazzling Blue, Silver and Alloy, and the product code is U991BL2. So the 991 V2 is a significant upgrade over the 991 V1 when it comes to the tech within the sneaker. And I gotta say the overall silhouette just looks a bit nicer, it's a bit more sleek, and has more of a modern flavor to it. And because this is made in England, that it kind of explains why the price point is so high, because not only you're paying for the materials, but you're also paying for the labor cost, the overhead, all of those things like that, which obviously is going to be a bit higher coming from England as opposed to coming from Asia. So jumping into the details of this shoe, on the toe box, the base layer here, this is constructed out of a blue colored mesh, and in real life this is a very vibrant shade of blue. Right above this towards the eyelets, we have this reflective silver layer, and then overlaid on top of the toe box, we have these synthetic blue colored overlays which feels like a synthetic nubuck. Wrapping around the front toe cap, we have this asymmetrical panel of genuine pig suede, and this is done in this tonal blue colored finish. And the same blue suede covers the entire mid panel of the shoe. The top two eyelets are covered in this silver or gray colored TPU, and then in the middle of the mid panel, we have this New Balance N logo, which is entirely constructed out of the silver reflective 3M. Moving downwards, we have more of a mix of genuine suede and that mesh that we saw on the toe box, and then surrounding the heel of the shoe, we have another overlay of pig suede with this oval shaped cutout on the lateral side, revealing a silver reflective panel with 991 branding embroidered in white. In the middle of the heel, we have the synthetic nubuck with V2 branding embroidered in white, and then the top of the heel is also covered in another synthetic blue nubuck layer. On the bottom of the heel, we have this gray colored TPU heel clip, which gives you added structure and support for the back end of the sneaker. And then turning our attention back to the front, when it comes to the laces, this pair comes with two different lace options. The standard or default lace that they come with, and the one that I think looks a lot better, are these flat style laces in gray. I like the contrast that it provides, but if you want more of a subtle look, they also give you a blue colored lace as well. Underneath this, the tongue is primarily constructed out of that herringbone style mesh that we saw on the toe box. However, we have this large overlay on the top of the tongue. You can see we have V2 branding in the middle, and on the top we have New Balance Made in England 991 branding. The back of the tongue and the interior of the shoe, this is covered in this gray colored liner, and the collar of the shoe is pretty minimally padded. As far as the insoles go, nothing too special here. This is just your standard foam line insole. It's done in this tonal gray color matching the sidewalls, and then pressed onto the heel we have New Balance branding. So the upper of the shoe sits atop this chunky midsole, which is definitely the most significant upgrade that they've done from the V1 to the V2. So this midsole incorporates full-length fuel cell, which is one of New Balance's top cushioning setups when it comes to their running shoes. And in addition to fuel cell, we also have New Balance's end cap technology, which is a dual density foam setup consisting of a stiffer polyurethane rim, giving you support and structure around the outer edges. And last but not least, we also have New Balance's Absorb SBS. These are the semi-translucent pods we see on the lateral side, which is put in place to help with impact protection and shock absorption. Turning the shoe over to the bottom, so this outsole is crafted using a mix of black and gray colored rubber. We have these grooves on the forefoot to give you a little bit more flexibility, and then running down the center of the outsole, we have this white portion here. This is exposed New Balance fuel cell foam. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this shoe. And $1,000,000 question is, how do these fit? So my foot measures as a true size 10, slightly on the wider side. I got these in a size 10 and they fit me pretty well, but I gotta warn you guys, the 991 V2, it fits similarly to the 991 V1 in that it's a bit more on the narrow side around the ball of your foot and it runs a little bit long lengthwise. So getting these true to size, I could feel a little bit of pressure around the ball of my foot. It wasn't snug enough that I'd want to go up half a size, but it was definitely noticeable, at least straight out of the box. And the length of the shoe was a little bit long. There was just over an index finger's width space between the top of the shoe and the top of my toe. So for anyone that has a narrow foot and you like a very snug one-to-one fit, I feel like you could go a half size down. But for everyone else, because of the width of this toe box, you should just probably stick true to size and deal with the extra length of the shoe. To give you guys a point of comparison, I also wear a size 10 or true to size in other New Balance silhouettes like the 991 V1, the 1500, the 2002R, 1906R, and the 860 V2. And in comparison, I go a half size down to a 9.5 in a lot of made in USA New Balance sneakers like the 992, 993, 990 V3, V4, V5, and V6. And some people have mentioned that I give you guys a comparable for maybe a Nike sneaker. So getting these in a size 10, that's the same size I wear, for example, in the Air Jordan 3, the Air Max 1, Air Max 90, or the Nike Zoom Vomero 5. Moving on to the comfort, so this is definitely an upgrade over the 991 V1. Because of the fuel cell foam that they incorporate in this midsole, it gives the shoe more of a plush feel underfoot, but at the same time, because of the end cap and the Absorb SBS, it doesn't feel like it's a very soft shoe straight out of the box at least. To be fair though, I've seen people online that have said that the 991 V2 is their absolute top shoe when it comes to cushioning, and they say that you really have to break in the sneaker as opposed to something like the 990 V6, which straight out of the box has more of that softer and bouncier feel, whereas this one may take some time to mold to your foot. It's just that on a personal note, I've never had the chance yet to really break in my 991 V2, so I can't confirm or deny if that's true, but I'd assume that people are telling the truth. So if straight out of the box you feel like it's not that comfortable, give it some time, give it some wear, and it should become really comfortable over time. One thing I did notice though is that there's a noticeable difference between the comfort on the heel versus the forefoot. If you look at the shape of the shoe, you'll notice the thickness of the foam on the forefoot isn't that high. So I personally kind of noticed that the forefoot didn't really feel that cushioned, whereas the heel of the shoe, I could feel a lot more of that cushioning, especially if I'm just leaning back onto the heel of my foot. Finally, in terms of the quality and the craftsmanship, so first off, the material quality I was pretty happy with. This is your typical made in England materials, so we have genuine pig suede, which feels very nice to the touch. Other than that though, they do utilize synthetic materials, such as the synthetic nubuck overlays and the mesh and the 3M layers. But this is basically your typical made in England construction, and same thing when it comes to the quality control and the overall build. It wasn't perfect. The stitch job, there were some areas that were a little bit spotty, but other than that, I thought the panels were relatively consistent between my left foot and the right foot. There weren't any glue stains that I could really see. So again, it wasn't flawless, but there was really nothing major that I could complain about. So with all that out of the way now, let's toss these on feet. I'll lace them up for you and I'll show you guys how these look. It's great to see these bold, vibrant colors on the 991 V2, especially because the warmer months are coming ahead. So it's gonna be really fun and great to break out these bolder colorways, and that's something I'm really looking forward to. This shade of blue is absolutely beautiful. It's really, really eye-catching, and it's honestly even nicer in real life than it is depicted in pictures. And I might be in the minority here, but the 991 V2, I wish it was slightly wider. That's probably one of the main reasons why I usually gravitate towards the 990 series as opposed to the 991s. Just because of the width of the shoe, my feet fit better in the 990 series as opposed to these ones. But it's still a very comfortable sneaker, so you guys should definitely check it out if you're on the fence. I know the price point is extremely high, but the quality really is worth it. So drop a comment down below to let me know, what do you guys think about this dazzling blue colorway of the New Balance 991 V2? Between this one and the yellow or the pumpkin or whatever orange colorway you want to call it, which of the two do you guys prefer? And are you guys patiently waiting to grab these from a North American retailer? Did you bite the bullet and buy a pair from Europe already? Let me know your thoughts down below. And as usual, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Instagram at esco8, check me out on X at sean.go_spoutout, and visit my website at seango.ca. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one.